In a beautiful green corner of a big farm, there was a kind-hearted duck named Mildred. Mildred had made herself the coziest nest you could ever see, tucked away in the softest, fluffiest hay. In her nest, Mildred was looking after several eggs. Most of these eggs were small, smooth, and as white as a winter's snow. But there was one egg that wasn't quite like the others. It was a lot bigger and wasn't white at all, but a curious shade of gray. Mildred took great care of her eggs, keeping them warm and even singing gentle quack-quack lullabies to them at night, hoping they would feel snug and loved. One bright and sunny morning, something wonderful happened. The eggs began to crack open, peck, 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 and out waddled the cutest, fluffiest little ducklings with yellow feathers so soft they looked like little sunbeams. Mildred named them Sunny, Daisy, and Lucky, and they quacked and played, filling Mildred's heart with happiness. But then, the big gray egg started to move. It wobbled and shook, and finally, with a loud C-R-A-C-K out, came another duckling. But this one, he was quite different. This duckling, who we'll call Grayson, was larger than his siblings, a bit on the clumsy side, and his feathers were a soft, cloudy gray. Grayson tried his best to fit in with Sunny, Daisy, and Lucky, but he was just so much bigger and a bit awkward. The other animals on the farm, like Sir Cluck the rooster and Whiskers the cat, couldn't help but notice that Grayson didn't quite look like his little brothers and sisters. Sometimes they weren't very kind about it, which made Grayson feel a little bit lonely and left out. Mildred loved all her little ones the same, and she gave Grayson extra cuddles, whispering to him, "You're special just the way you are, my dear Grayson." But even with his mother's love, Grayson felt like he didn't quite fit in. So that's where our story begins, with a little duckling who's not like the others, but is just as wonderful. What adventures await Grayson? We'll find out next time. Sweet dreams, and remember, being different is what makes you special. Settle in as we continue with the second part of our story about Grayson, the unique little duckling. As the leaves started to turn golden and fall from the trees, marking the arrival of autumn on the farm, our friend Grayson found himself growing. He was getting bigger, and his gray feathers became even fluffier. He looked even more different from his yellow siblings, Sunny, Daisy, and Lucky. The other farm animals, including Sir Cluck the rooster and Whiskers the cat, continued to notice Grayson's differences, and they weren't always kind in their words. Poor Grayson felt more and more lonely as the days went by. His mother, Mildred, showered him with love and kindness, but the teasing from others made Grayson's heart ache with sadness. Then, winter came, spreading a blanket of snow over the farm. The cold days were tough for everyone, but for Grayson, they were especially hard. Feeling out of place and unwelcome, he decided it was time to leave the farm and find somewhere he could belong. So, with a heavy heart, Grayson set out into the wide, chilly world. During his journey, Grayson faced many challenges. He braved the cold winds and searched for shelter and food. One day, he stumbled upon a cozy cottage where a kind old woman lived. She took Grayson in, mistaking him for a duck that could lay eggs. Unfortunately, Grayson wasn't able to meet her expectations, and the woman's cat and hen were not very friendly to him. The winter grew colder and harsher, making life difficult for our little Grayson. He was too young to fly, which made finding food and staying safe from predators a real challenge. But despite the dangers, Grayson's spirit remained unbroken. He managed to escape from scary wild animals in the forest, proving his bravery and resilience. Gather around, everyone, as we continue with the third chapter of Grayson's adventure, the unique and brave little duckling. As the cold winter began to thaw and the first signs of spring started to bloom, Grayson continued his journey. He had grown during the winter, and his gray feathers had taken on a beautiful sheen. Still, he felt different and alone, wandering through the countryside, looking for a place where he might fit in. One sunny day, Grayson found himself by a sparkling lake, surrounded by lush greenery. The beauty of the place filled him with a sense of peace. It was here, by the water's edge, that Grayson first saw children playing. They laughed and ran around, and some stopped to look at him. Grayson felt a mix of curiosity and nervousness. The The children seemed kind, but Grayson remembered the teasing from the farm and kept his distance. As he spent more time by the lake, Grayson often gazed at his reflection in the clear water. He noticed how much he had changed since he left the farm. He was no longer the clumsy, awkward duckling, but had grown into something else, something he couldn't quite understand yet. One day, while Grayson was contemplating his reflection, a group of beautiful swans glided gracefully across the lake. They were majestic and elegant, and Grayson couldn't help but feel both awe and a sense of longing. He felt an unknown connection to them, but also a deep sense of being different, of not belonging. As the days passed, Grayson would often watch the swans from a distance. He admired their beauty and grace, yet he felt a pain of sadness, believing he could never be like them. The third part of Grayson's story ends with him sitting quietly by the lake at sunset, lost in thought. The sky turned brilliant shades of orange and purple, reflecting on the lake's surface, and Grayson sat there, feeling a mix of loneliness and hope. So, our story continues, with Grayson's journey of self-discovery still unfolding. What will happen next to our brave little duckling? Well, we'll find out soon in our next chapter. Sweet dreams, and remember, every one of us is on a journey to find